Vraja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Grantara Śrīmad Bhagavatam ki jai. Before I start, I just want to tell that English for me is third language, therefore please forgive me for improper some expressions, and maybe I use some sometimes improper words, so please don't judge me. And yeah, and here are many senior devotees. I'm seeking for blessings that I can speak something beneficial for everyone. Yeah, loudly. And yeah, if I speak too fast, you're welcome to tell also. Now better? Yes. Fourth canto, second chapter, Daksha versus Lord Śiva, text 28. bhava-vrata-dharā ca ye chatan samanuvratāḥ pāṣaṇḍinas te bhavantu sac-chāstra-paripanthinaḥ sac-chāstra-paripanthinaḥ bhava-vrata-dharā ca ye chatan samanuvratāḥ pāṣaṇḍinas te bhavantu sac-chāstra-paripanthinaḥ. Yes, please. Word-to-word translation. Bhava-vrata-dharā, taking a vow to satisfy Lord Śiva. Ye, who, cha, and. Ye, who, cha, and. Tan. Such principles. Samanuvratāḥ, following. Pāṣaṇḍinas, atheist. Te, they, bhavantu, let them become. Sat-śāstra-paripanthinaḥ, delivered from the transcendental scriptural injunctions. Translation and purport by Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. One who takes a vow to satisfy Lord Śiva, or who follows such principles, will certainly become an atheist and be diverted from transcendental scriptural injunctions. Purport. It is sometimes seen that devotees of Lord Śiva imitate the characteristics of Lord Śiva. For example, Lord Śiva drank an ocean of poison, so some of the followers of Lord Śiva imitate him and try to take intoxicants like gāñjā, marijuana. Here the curse is that if someone follows such principles, he must become an infidel and turn against the principles of Vedic regulation. It is said that such devotees of Lord Śiva will be sat-śāstra-paripanthinaḥ, which means opposed to the conclusions of Shastra or scripture. This is confirmed in Padma Purāṇa also. Lord Śiva was ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to preach the impersonal Māyāvāda philosophy for a particular purpose, just as Lord Buddha preached the philosophy of voidness for particular purposes mentioned in the Śāstras. Sometimes it is necessary to preach a philosophical doctrine which is against the Vedic conclusion. In the Shiva Purāṇa it is stated that Lord Śiva said to Parvati that in the Kali Yuga, in the body of a Brahmana, he would preach the Māyāvāda philosophy. Thus, it is generally found that the worshippers of Lord Śiva are Māyāvādi followers. Lord Śiva himself says, Māyāvādam achat-śāstram. Achat-śāstra, sat-śāstra, as explained here, means the doctrine of Māyāvāda impersonalism, or becoming one with the Supreme. Bhrigu Muni cursed that persons who worshipped Lord Śiva would become followers of Māyāvāda sac-chāstra, which attempts to establish the Supreme Personality of Godhead as is impersonal. Besides that, among the worshippers of Lord Śiva, there is a section who live in a devilish life. Śrīmad Bhagavatam and Narada Pancharatra are authorized scriptures that are considered sat-śāstra, or scriptures which lead one to the path of God realization. Asat-śāstras are just the opposite. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadama Hyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutyadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamne Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine. Yeah, this is, I already told that this is third language for me. So this is, pastime is very instructive, and many of the things which are happening we can also find in our heart. Let's remember the context that Daksha came to sacrifice, and he was effulgent, and most of the highly elevated personalities stood up, but Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma didn't stood up, and Daksha became offended by that because he was expecting the respect, and actually he already and he then started to say like announcement, now I will speak how properly one should behave according Shastra, because Daksha knows very good Shastra, but unfortunately he doesn't know the final goal, the essence of Shastra. So one of the lessons for us also that rules and regulations, it's important to follow, but always remember why. What is the essence of following? Why are you doing this? So, and Shiva, Daksha, he actually was already envious of Shiva before he came there. But Lord Shiva, as we will see later, when he will leave this assembly, he was not at all envious, and he is very peaceful, because devotee is peaceful. In Chaitanya Charitamrita there is a verse, Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ataiva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhikami Sakalya Shanta, that Krishna Bhakti is always peaceful because he is desireless. Desireless means he has not personal desires, he just wants to please Krishna. But those who jnanis, yogis and karmis, they always disturbed because they have desires. So, and Prahlad Maharaj is a good example of non-envious devotee, and he prays Свасясту Вишасту Калах Прасида там Деянти Бутам Ничего Митходия Манашча Бадрам Бататаша Джокшаджи Авеша Матир Нопи Апи Агайтуки. May the because I was learning this in different languages, translations. May the whole universe be pacified by practicing bhakti yoga, and let us always remember Krishna. So yeah, we actually in our own language in our monastery pray every day this prayer in our language, only translation, from the time when I think COVID started. Because we can see that the world is very a lot of difficulties now. Ego is very fast degrading the world, and regarding envy, in the word-to-word translation, Prabhupada makes interesting statement here. Kalach, envious, and who is envious? Prabhupada, how you call it? Prabhupada says almost everyone, so it's not just like he's envious. So if we don't have love, it means we have envy. It's opposite. And so and Daksha was proud because he is great personality, and he thinks that all these things belong to him. In Bhagavad Gita there is a verse, Prakriti kriya manani guna karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma. Vimudhatma, mudha means, what does mean mudha? Mudha, full, full, but vi means grateful. So, because even we in our own, we can see that if we do something good, then there is the tendency to become proud. If we distribute a lot of books or collect a lot of Lakshmi, then pride immediately comes. But devotee is understanding that nothing belongs to me, it's all Guru's mercy. And Dhruva Maharaj, after a couple of verses, not verses but chapters, he will also pray wonderful prayer. What is that? Yuntah pravishimam vachimaram prasuptam sanjivayate kila shakti drasodamna anyam śāstra-charana shurvana tvagadin prananamo bhava-vrata Purāṇa. That, O Lord, you are so kind, you enliven my all sleeping senses. So in speech also, because he was able to glorify Krishna. How old he was? He 5 years old, right? So 5 years old boy, such glorification. I think 12 verses was a glorification of his of the Lord. So he understands, and devotee also should understand that everything comes from Krishna and nothing depends to me. I'm just trying to do my best, and I depend only on Krishna. And every day we remind ourselves this, Yesya Prasad Bhagavad Prasada, that only by mercy of Guru, Srila Prabhupada gave us morning program, and and this helps us. If we follow strictly, then it should give the result, like because Daksha was proud here, and it comes all because he was concentrated fully on bodily platform. And in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu there is a verse, how it starts, Grishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Rutama, Grishikesha Sevanam Sarvaupadhi Vinir Muktam Tat Prevartina Nirvalam Grishikana Grishikesha Sevana Bhakti Ruchite, that one engages in senses in service, and like secondary thing what comes, two things, that he loses all identification with his body, and his senses become purified because he serves Grishikesha, the master of the senses. And the fact, because Daksha and Shiva was very different personalities, the very fact of existence, he doesn't like, Daksha didn't like that Shiva was living like that, because Daksha is want to be happy, he is material prosperity, but Shiva is totally renounced. He even doesn't dress. He just renounced. He is absorbed in meditation. And in Soviet Union also, when the movement began, I think in 1980s, there are senior devotees there. Okay, louder. Okay. So senior devotees told that they was put to jail and to this mental hospitals, psych hospitals, you call, right? Psychic hospitals, only because they do not eat meat. So, and they was put injections, you know, this, which you become like a little intoxicated. So yeah, and so you can see that in the world there is always envious person. They don't do nothing bad, but someone is, for someone is not good. Also, when we distribute books, sometimes also some Christian just want to show his, you know, we don't do nothing bad. We on the same mission, same God, but sometimes we can. Yeah, Shiva. In the. Okay, we'll come to later to this. So what I want to say next. So yeah, and these all qualities also are in us, but and during this week. Not this week, but during reading this chapter, a few devotees already quoted this verse, how anger comes from this Bhagavad Gita verse, So while contemplating on the object of the senses, attachment comes, and then lust, and then when it's not fulfilled, because it's never fulfilled, anger arises, and it's important. But before we contemplate, even there is something deeper in us, the desire to enjoy. In Chaitanya Charitamrita there is a verse, Atmendriya Priti Vanchapali Tarikama, Krishnendaya Priti Ichip Dari Premanama, that to satisfy one's own senses, desire to satisfy one's own senses, is Sanskrit is lust, but to satisfy Krishna senses is love. And by following process which is given by our Srila Prabhupada, we gradually, if we follow strictly, then it should disappear, this desire to enjoy, and we more and more understand that we are just servants. Therefore, it is very nice experience for those who just immediately joined Brahmacharya ashram, and because it's much easier later will be in the future, whatever your future will be. So, yeah, okay, so regarding today's verse and purport, in the very beginning, Srila Prabhupada is here. It says, devotees of Lord Śiva, imitate the characteristics of Lord Śiva. So, yeah, there is Acharya Jiva Goswami explains that anukarnam and anusarnam. Anukarnam means to imitate, just do externally without understanding what is the inner meaning of that, but anusarnam to follow. Okay, so, thank you, yeah, I will speak slower. Thank you. But anusarna means to understand the mood and follow in our own, on our own level. Just like Shiva, it's mentioned here, he drank the poison to save the entire universe. So we should, because just like these Shiva followers, they smoke marijuana, they take example. So we can say, can you drink? Well, if you follow example. But for us listeners, that we can also take like kind of baby steps in this mood. We can learn that Shiva is very compassionate for all the personalities, even without bodies, Bhutas, ghosts, and he gives shelter them. So we can also to manifest self-compassion, and if we don't have compassion, we just follow Prabhupada's compassion. We become his instruments to preach, to distribute this knowledge, which is the highest benefit for the humanity, to give the spiritual knowledge. It even in one purport in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada even mentioned that this is violence not to preach, right? Is there such a thing here, right? Yeah. So violence not to preach. Yes, and we will not go into this topic of Pancha Upasana, but if someone is interested in that, His Holiness Bhakti-Vigyan Goswami has given seminars also in English, and it maybe someone been there in ISKCON Leadership Sangha. It was 3-4 years ago in Vedic Planetarium. Anyone been there? Oh, you remember? Yeah, Pancha Upasana, that there is Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Krishna Samhita, Sri Krishna Samhita, beginning from introduction, he mentions that there are different level of consciousness people, living entities people, and Sanskrit he calls Bharagrahi and Saragrahi. So Bharagrahi, there is 5 levels of consciousness. It's equal to this. Prabhupada also mentions in his books where is Anamaya, Pranamaya, Manamaya, Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya. So because every living entity has the tendency to enjoy, and every living entity at some degree will desire to liberation. And in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu there is a verse, Bhukti Muhi Spriha, most probably knows that in Bhakti there is most biggest 2 obstacles, or like pishachis, how Rupa Goswami calls Bhukti and Mukti, desire to enjoy and desire liberation. So often, and different of mixtures of these attitudes inside us, they create, it manifests, everyone has a different level of consciousness, and some in the first stages, Anamaya, where is who they worship Durga, they just live on the bodily platform. They just want to, they just care about their work, eating, sleeping, family, and that's it. So very bodily level. And another is who is that? Is Saurya, I think. Surya, yes, Surya. Second is Surya. Sun worshippers. Okay, so okay, I have here everything. Here, 1 second. Yeah. So okay, Shakta Dharma. Okay, Kama, enjoyment is those who have desire to enjoy very much gross externally. So this is Shakta Dharma. They worship Durga. Saura Dharma is already a little bit more elevated. They understand that this is not only to eat and sleep, but level is morality, health, like very big emphasis on maybe kind of different raw or vegan or something like that, the whole life similar to that. So this is also level. If anyone distribute books, maybe someone met when we distribute this higher taste, vegetarian, and like Brigupati Prabhu teach me a few years ago when I first time came, he said, don't say vegetarian diet, say plant-based diet, because if you say vegetarian, then they will start, if you come on vegans will start, their philosophy, which is, yeah. So, yeah, this is second level, and third is artha, prosperity, Ganapati Dharma means Ganesh worship, success, success, different things. Moksha is Shaiva Dharma, which is our topic today. Shaiva Dharma, Shiva preached Māyāvāda philosophy, and by the way, it will be mentioned later here that Shiva was preaching under the instruction of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he came like Shankaracharya, and Srila Prabhupada explains that Shankaracharya is a devotee of the Lord. Internally he worships Krishna, but this is his seva, this is his service. He came to preach Māyāvāda, to dilute, just like someone like Buddha also came to dilute the atheist and those who improper worship. So, and it's interesting that this what he's called Shankaracharya, at the end of his life, he said, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, that you worship Govinda. So, yeah. Fifth level of consciousness is Anandamaya, is Vaishnava Dharma, and personal liberation. It's interesting point that Mukti, and this, His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Goswami explains that in ISKCON we also all this. It's not that there are Shivaites only those who drink, this alcohol and drink and smoke gāñjā and had long beard and all this dirty, ignorant people. It's not only like that. That in ISKCON we also have full. We have many people and different devotees. If we have even Tilaka and Kantimala and Brahman thread even, it's not necessary that we are the real followers of Lord Chaitanya, because Srila Prabhupada in one of the purports he tells, when he speaks about Shankaracharya, he tells, but Lord Chaitanya rejected all these things, and I wanted, it was during Prabhupada disappearance day, I was also on the list to speak. I wanted to tell this, and I was keeping till now. But there was many senior devotees. It was no time even to Prabhupada disciple to speak. So I wanted also to tell. Now it's maybe related with this topic will be that what Srila Prabhupada brought. He didn't brought us just chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regulative principles, and you will go back to Godhead. So Bhaktivedanta Goswami explains that even not him, but even Lord Chaitanya himself says in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Vaidhi sadhana, which we are following, leads to Vaikuntha, and regarding these 5 different levels in Pancha Upasana, 5th level is Vaishnava Dharma, personal liberation. Often, even between devotees, it's not that, okay, we're Vaishnavas, Lord Chaitanya is very, very merciful, and he saved everyone, because sometimes we can also have this tendency like Jesus Christ followers. Okay, I hear this almost every day, that Jesus saved us, Jesus loved you, Jesus saved us. So it's okay, at some degree Srila Prabhupada saved us also, Lord Chaitanya saved us, but he saved us just from this horrible, miserable life. But are we, and Lord Chaitanya is Namo Mahavadanyaya, right? We say every day, Namo Mahavadanyaya, but why do we feel when we're saying this, what we're understanding, are we asking him what he can, are we accepting what they came us to give? When in the last 1 month, 2 times we were singing these bhajans like Janila Premadana and others, when Gorakshortas Babaji disappearance and Srila Prabhupada disappearance, and the first line was, oh, where is he who great treasure of love? Okay, so am I really understanding what I'm singing? Am I taking advantage? Am I accepting this? Because Srila Prabhupada, he came not only to like nirvishesha shunyavadi pashyatadi shatarnya, to annihilate the okay, how you say, to reject this nirvishesha shunyavadi and establish, person in our consciousness, but he came as Gauravani Pracharya. This is his main mission. Gauravani Pracharya. And what is Gauravani Pracharya? This is totally different topic. It's not related directly with today's purport, but because I got opportunity to speak. Yeah, and it's kind of related, because Srila Prabhupada in his purport says that we are followers of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya rejected these things. So Lord Chaitanya came to give, that was Anarpita Charim Charata Karuna Avatirna Kalu Samar Paitum Unnata Ujjal Rasa. He gave us he came to give the highest love which is possible. No one knew that before. There are many glorifications about the holy name in different śāstras, even before Lord Chaitanya, but no one knew what is real prema. Many people know what is prema, but what is real prema? Lord Chaitanya came to, and he came like Acharya Lila, he came to preach with his own example in such love that his body was, okay, I will not be able in English to say, but bigger and smaller, he was rubbing, right? His face, right? Because of love, such deep love. So this is the love one can achieve, but and one can think, okay, this is not for me. I am just a neophyte. I have a lot of envy, greed, all these things. What to do. So and especially those who and okay, I remember one thing which I forgot to tell. So in this Pancha-upasana, fifth level of consciousness is Vaishnava Dharma, like Vaidya sadhana, and even we are practicing for many years, 10 or 20 or 30, 40, 50, or 60 years, we can be surrendered our life to the service. We can do the service 50 years, but this is surrender. But this surrender doesn't lead to there which Rupa Raghunatha Goibhyakuti, where Lord Chaitanya came us to give. And everyone, if you desire to go back to Godhead, okay, you will go, but not necessary there where Srila Prabhupada gave us opportunity to go. So for this is totally different practice, and now we are even worshipping in Vaidya sadhana. We cannot approach Radha and Krishna. They worship only by Raganuga sadhana. And Vaidya sadhana, Lakshmi Narayana maximum. So okay, there is 8:30. Maybe someone wants to correct me or add something or question. Yes,
Hare Krishna, Govinda Prabhu. Thank you very much for your sincerity, for your honesty, and very nice, sweet lecture. Congratulations. So you open up the discussion of Vaidhi, Sadhana Bhakti, and Raganuga Bhakti, and you mentioned that just by chanting 16 rounds, following the 4 relative principles, it's not enough to go back to Godhead. And then you correct it, and then you say we can go to Vaikuntha by following these rules, but not to Goloka Vrindavan. And then you open up also the discussion how Mahaprabhu message is the real meaning of Prabhupada's pranam, no nirvishesha and sunyavadi. So can we say that when Mahaprabhu was giving the holy name everywhere he was going, so he was planting the seed, but when he was having intimate discussions with Ramananda Roy or Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, so he was getting into the raga mood. So taking that as a consideration, we can say that actually the devotee, after practicing for some time, should get more deeply in a very, like a small circle, and try to understand the deep meaning of this philosophy. Because if we just go by chanting 16 rounds and follow the four principles for 20, 30 years, we might think, oh, we are going back to Godhead at the end of my life. But according to what you just said, we are not going to Goloka Vrindavan. We might be going somewhere else. So what is your comment about this?
Can you, I heard many things. Can you say me in one sentence the question? I consider this, but please, so your question was?
It's a question and comment at the same time. Maybe you can.
Okay, so what is the question?
So the question is basically how to prepare ourselves to go to Goloka Vrindavan. So what the basic,
Krishna Bhakti Janmamula Hoy Sadhusanga, Krishna Prema Tonga Mugya Punach Mukhyanga, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that root of Krishna Bhakti, it comes from Sadhusanga, and it remains till the end of Prema, main Anga. So, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was leading Vrajamandala Parikrama, and Srila Prabhupada was there also. He just told that if someone is practicing bhakti for 15 or 20 years, he must know, he was started to speak Ashtakali Lila, Radha Krishna pastime 24 hours, and he said that everyone should know these things already after 15, 20 years, and devotee can practice, 40, 50, 30, 20 years, and he think, oh, I don't have bhava yet, what to do. This is not for me, this is too much elevated, it's not for me, so what to do? And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is answering this in Bhakti Loka. I can show you, I can tell exact, because it is an important question, so I will read exact saying. This here from Bhakti Loka, because I was expecting this question. Yeah. Some people lament that they have not attained devotion to Krishna, but at the same time they do not make any real attempt to raise themselves to the level of Krishna Bhakti. They remain bound to one of the levels without due cause and do not make any attempt to progress, niyamagraha. If a person stops one step, how can he expect to progress to the top? Many devotees on the level of Vaidhi Bhakti make no attempt to progress to Bhava Bhakti and lament that they not have attained Bhava. Many people remain attached to the rules of Varnashrama and are indifferent to Bhava and Prema. It is an obstacle on their own advancement. Does this answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to add something that he said in that conversation. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, that was in 1932. He also said that if a devotee remains 50 or 20 years practicing Vaidhi Bhakti, he doesn't, as you say, he doesn't make effort to go forward and attain Bhava Bhakti, he might become there is a danger of becoming a nirvishesha. Why? Because rules or regulations is based on prohibitions. we should not do this, we should not do that, no illicit sex, no this, no that, no meat eating. And then the devotees become neti. I don't need to do this, I can't do that, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. And they forget to, I've been also speaking for the last entire year in Spanish, so my English is gone by this time. And on top of that, learning Turkish, so I have a heavy mix of words in my mind, so I can't relate with you. But anyways, so he said that there are two paths basically. There is a pravriti and an nivriti. And then pravriti means to become attached to Krishna, which is raga nuga bhakti. And yeah, basically after 50-20 years, one should give up the process of vaidhi bhakti, and one should make endeavors. And as you very well say, many devotees, they use the excuse, like even in I mean, not very, we don't have to go so far. Even some devotees, after a few years, they are advised to read Chaitanya Charitamrita. And they say, oh, Prabhu, I'm very fallen. Chaitanya Charitamrita is for Paramahansas. But then why Prabhupada wrote it? And he's also encouraged to distribute that, you know, among the most fallen people. We're doing it in universities and colleges. Yeah, what are we saying? Oh, I'm very fallen. So this is an excuse. And if somebody, remains adamant of not going forward, he's going to lose faith and he's going to lose determination. So that's later on explained by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And then once you lose faith and you lose determination, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that faith is a life, determination is the life of faith. So if somebody loses determination and is sadhana and he loses faith, then it's completely gone. So that's why a lot of people go out from Krishna consciousness and listen ISKCON, because yes, they think that I can go on chanting 16 rounds and following the 4 regs and mechanically practicing bhakti yoga. And no, we're advised to follow, to go to the next step. So yeah, thank you very much for bringing this up. It's very, very interesting, and everyone should be aware of this. Thank you, Prabhu. Appreciate it.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Yeah.